Ladies and gentlemen, it is with a heavy heart that I have to tell you that with the other cuts that Warner has been making, House of the Dragon has officially been shelved for tax purposes. Also, it is our duty to announce that since you all complained about the final season of Game of Thrones so much, that the entirety of Game of Thrones catalog will be removed and replaced with our back catalog of What the Show. Also, for tax purposes, Streamlabs donations all go to charity. It's What the Show. All right, we got the silliness out of the way. It's Wednesday night. It's What the Show. My name is AJ Lancaster. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm joined by a couple of those and a guest tonight. One of those co-hosts is Justin the Juice Oliver. How you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Ready to rock and roll. I'm back. Been 3 weeks since I've been on it. An actual full show. So I'm excited. Hope you're excited.
Justin was placed on WTS probation for reasons we can't disclose at the moment, maybe later in the show. And we are also joined by a deacon on the hill.
The lesser deacon, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Bethany's taking the night off. She's getting some well-deserved rest. She had a lot
She's on assignment in Uganda.
She definitely is a proponent of the difficulties you can have on writing a trade, and that's a story for another night.
Can't wait to hear more about that. And we have a guest tonight. We have a guest that we've never had on the program before. Somebody who I love their programming that also usually coincides with our programming schedule-wise. So that you're here tonight, Robert, it's really special to me. Robert Adams, how are you doing?
You know, it's Wednesday night, and I don't care. Come like rain or shine, I'm going to be streaming somewhere Monday or Wednesday nights. I don't care how, whether it's my channel, y'all's channel, someone's channel. I don't care.
Did you just write us a poem?
I don't know. Maybe. The other thing that I want to disclose that people didn't know, that entire your intro Mortal Kombat theme, that it's not actually the Mortal Kombat theme for copyright likenesses. I was sitting here doing all the backflips and kicks to it. I can't hear that song without having to get up and dance and jump around and flip and kick and punch. But which would be awesome to see me do that. But I mean, y'all had that graphic up, so no one got to see it.
It was backstage, but Robert killed a guy.
Yeah, possibly.
Killed him with a laudanum.
Nicolas Cage saw me do it.
Yeah. That's why his face looks like that.
That's why his face is stuck like that always.
It's a good thing all those doctors are sitting right next to you.
I know. Yeah.
So, Robert, it's your first night on. And there's some people who might be first-time viewers who are watching, so I'm just going to let you guys know. When you guys go to streamlabs.com/whattheshow, that's going to be something where we don't keep that money. You can send in your comments or questions, but every single dollar on the show goes to charity. This month's charity is the Improve Near Method. Now, the Improve Near Method is a charity where they work with kids with Down syndrome. I believe it's actually all ages with Down syndrome, with supporting and uplifting them through improvisational theater. So they do improv troops and practice. Nobody's ever made to do something that they're uncomfortable with, but they help them grow social skills and comedy and have fun through that. This is something that Allison Salomone, actually a friend of the show, recommended as a charity for the month, and I am so proud to support it tonight. So, any Streamlabs donations, No pressure to donate always, because we always do our own donations. I do myself. If you have any questions that you want to make sure that we get to, any comments you want to make sure 100% that we get to, though, they will be in that Streamlabs donation.
So funny thing about that, of course, y'all know I really love Scrubs, so that's why the thumbnail is Scrubs related. So kind of tying into that, Dr. Cox. If y'all are familiar with Scrubs, Dr. Cox is played by John C. McGinley. Fantastic actor. Seven, The Rock, just a ton of really good stuff.
American Gladiators.
Was he in American Gladiators?
He was on an episode of American Gladiators, Robert.
I am going to be looking that up later tonight, like as I'm going to sleep. But John C. McGinley, I'm holding the Funko Pop because it's the only way I can really reference him. It's not like I have John C. McGinley right here that I can, hey, this guy. So he has a son that has Down syndrome. If y'all watch Scrubs, he's got like the bands. He's got one of these like bands for Down syndrome that he wears all the time. His character, Dr. Cox, wears this band while a doctor, and it's because his real life son has Down syndrome. So good timing.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, man, that's wow. Now I need to go back and like watch random episodes of Scrubs for like reasons other than just watching random episodes of Scrubs.
Just to pick up on it. We mentioned the Scrubs. We found out that Robert's a gigantic Scrubs fan, but the way we found out that was pretty funny, actually.
It was.
In LA, after Spectacular, we were at the after party at Barney's, and we Matty Gunner, Jeff Alterman, and I had a running joke ahead of time that we all were going to get Appletinis when we were out there. And Robert just walks by and he just stops dead in his tracks. He's like,
"You got to put down the Appletini."
And we learned about how big of a Scrubs fan is, and for those of you who don't know, I occasionally do run Scrubs trivia competitions, and whenever we're able to schedule it, he will be on the next one.
It's awesome.
Oh, Jiggly ball,
but not quite that awesome.
Did y'all see in that clip that thing that JD has on his wrist? It's not a band for.
Oh, I know what it is.
For the people with Down syndrome, unfortunately, it's called an idiot handle.
Yep.
That he's wearing here. Yeah. I'm not as familiar with the show as they are.
He got his hand stuck in a glass coffee pot earlier in the episode, and so he broke it, and he's like, "Ow!" But it's the orange handle of it is still stuck on his wrist. He can't get it off. So janitor, who's his eternal nemesis, grabs the handle of it. It's like, "Oh, look at this! It's an idiot handle." So the writing on Scrubs is so good. Like I know Bill Lawrence has done. I know he did. Was it Clone High before? I know he's gone on and done like Cougar Town. He did Sin City. And I want to say,
did he have a hand on the
hand on what's it called? What the Apple show?
Yeah, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
And he did. I'm pretty certain he did Drew Carey at first too, because.
Interesting.
I'm relatively certain he was also involved with the Drew Carey show.
Yeah. But out of all the things I've seen from him, none of it has hit the kind of humor like Scrubs.
Right.
I haven't watched Ted Lasso yet. I want to watch Ted Lasso.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're going to absolutely
that's what I hear.
Ted Lasso is to Scrubs like if every other episode was the Yellow Brick Road episode.
Oh, My Way Home?
Mm-hmm.
The 100th episode? Yeah.
It's like not in a fanciful way, but in a way that's just like it's gonna break your heart.
Yeah,
but you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Put in questions like, "What was the title of the 46th episode?" Oh, that was easy. That's blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not.
So where does the green line lead to?
Let's see. So the red one or the yellow one goes out the door. The green one, damn it. One of them goes like to the smokers lounge, but
that's the answer.
Yeah, but he drew it like all whatever, so everyone's confused and they're just gathering in the hall smoking in the hospital.
That's one of the better scenes.
Which I always thought was funny because Dr. Kelso's sitting there like smoking his pipe, and like I don't know a single doctor that ever advocates for smoking anything. So
Dr. Kelso is just one of the most delightful characters in television history. I don't think I've ever seen a character who like you at the beginning of the show just like you hate him, and by the end of the end of the show, you absolutely adore the man.
Yeah. So I see Lego in the chat. Should I time myself out for never having watched Scrubs? No, just if you have access to Hulu, I believe it's still streaming on Hulu.
It's on Prime as well.
Yeah, just start periodically watching an episode or two. Give yourself a good couple episodes into the first season. See what you think. Complete the first season. Start the first couple episodes of the second season, and then just continue watching the show.
Now, I do have a question. Scrubs the Interns.
Oh, God.
Is that a prequel to the series? So should I watch that first? Or is it like the best part and I should leave it to the end?
That was a side project of shorts that was done during the 8th and final season. There is no 9th season at all.
Right.
But
that's right.
Yeah, it was like a side project that was done just to kind of help highlight the interns. Part of the idea was the interns. They did want to like start spinning it away from JD and the rest of the normal crew and start having these interns be a part of it. So that was what that side series was, to kind of help us like really get to know the interns a lot more than what a normal episode would show us. But then, of course, that was while it was still under NBC, and then NBC sold it off, and that Scrubs Interns, all the idea of that, nothing came of that. So it went off to ABC, and ABC, I could have sworn, did something with Scrubs, but I'm not certain what.
So the final 2 seasons did air on ABC.
The final, well,
the season and that other thing.
Yeah.
See, that was the joke. That was the punchline I was going for.
Damn it, Mike. You're making me have to admit on camera in public that there's still nothing after season 8 of Scrubs.
I know.
Then what was Dave Franco doing for all those years?
Who?
As far as I know, Dave Franco has no connection to Scrubs whatsoever. I feel bad enough having to admit publicly that a season Sorry has something to do with Scrubs.
Yeah,
I can't stand his character.
He's terrible. He might be the worst character on the show, quite honestly.
It made me absolutely hate him as an actor for a very long time.
He's tough to watch on Parks and Rec at times, but then there's other times that he's totally endearing, you know. But beginning of that show, I hated him.
Yeah. Where James Franco did this, then Dave Franco kind of did this for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I stand on the situation. But
now, Dave Franco was fantastic and actually like pulled off Sestero very, very well, I thought. That's a wild movie, and the crazy thing is that movie is not like insanely sensationalized. Like most of that is fairly accurate. Like the biggest thing I heard was inaccurate is the ending, because there was never that many people in a screening, like for the premiere. That's the biggest inaccuracy to that movie. But it's so crazy. The best part of the story, like we're going off the rails already. So the room, like. Literally, the only reason it got popular was like some bored college kid went and saw it, was like the only one in his theater, thought it was hilarious, and told his buddies, "You got to go see this train wreck." And they all, like, of the whatever 100 tickets that sold for this movie, this kid was responsible for like 50 of them. And the reason it went viral online was because this kid kept on sharing it with his friends.
So there you go. There's your proof of how to grow something online. Is you have fans. They need to share it. So when stuff gets posted on Twitter or whatever, I'm guilty of not doing this myself. So I'm like, I'm terrible at Twitter. So when I see stuff that, like, even if stuff I'm a part of, it could be even like Cinefanatic stuff, like most all like the retweets, and especially like Instagram stories and shares or whatever. That's all my brother, because he's on top of it.
Bad. My wife is an expert at Instagram. I am terrible at it.
I once met a drug dealer at a bar. His name was Instagram. So he got you that gram like
real fast.
Yeah, like 30, 45
in an instant.
I don't understand any of that.
So,
do you
the
know who
greatest
that is, by the
$60
way?
you've ever spent.
Robert, do you know who that is?
Yeah, that was the second worst Raiden known to man.
You
That's the
motherfucker.
greatest rating.
Oh.
Of the three. He had the
Okay, sorry.
best haircut.
I have to back up. I forgot that we had that there was a Raiden in the 2021 Mortal Kombat, so I completely forgot about that. So he is I don't know. I don't know if
The Raiden in that movie was kind of like accurate. It sucked because it was accurate.
I don't know though, because like no one who has played Raiden, even in 2021, which I felt like was probably the most faithful in looks for the characters, at least, but not a single Raiden has actually looked like what I'm used to seeing Raiden growing up, like as a teenager in the 90s, playing the video games. Like none of them have looked like Raiden. So
Yeah.
It is wildly accurate. What's funny though, I know some of you have. Have you all seen Black Phone?
Yes.
So I got such Christopher Lambert vibes off of Ethan Hawke. Just the way he spoke in that role, he reminded me so much of '95 Mortal Kombat Raiden. Just the way he said everything. I'm like, this is the second coming of Lambert.
Enough.
The
tournament is not started yet.
So we just got a $3 donation from Hudsonizer saying, personally, I would tell everyone about what the show, but then they'd have to listen to AJ. Facts. So what was the first time you guys saw The Room? Do you guys remember the first time you saw The Room?
Is that his question or is that your question?
That's my question.
Oh,
you don't answer because it's mine.
Man,
I do remember.
Know. That was one of those. That someone. It was a friend or someone was telling me like, you gotta watch this. This movie is so bad, it's good. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch this. And I remember watching it by myself. I was like, why am I watching this? This is so stupid. And then I was about ready just to complete the second coming of Lambert. Still looking for that second coming of James Remar there. But I remember watching it, and I was like, this movie's so dumb. And then like one of my other friends happened to have seen it, and it was one of those like we were hanging out at their house. They were like cooking food or barbecuing or something, and they just so happened to throw that movie on in the background. And it's funny, like even the worst movie, when it gets thrown on the background of like a house party or when you're just hanging out, and that movie comes on, no matter what you think of it, you could have hated that movie in a house party situation. You're like, dude, this movie's the shit.
It's totally a group viewing movie. Like, I think the first time I saw it, I don't know, maybe about 10-ish years ago, and I found it like on somebody told me to do it, and I literally found it. It was the whole movie was online, like not even on like a pirate site. I just like The Room, full movie. There it is. All right.
Yep.
And I'm pretty certain I watched it on my laptop.
They're more wanting you to watch this movie than for them to actually make any money off of this movie. Here it is for free.
So,
but
are you guys familiar with the Adult Swim thing with this? With the Adult Swim thing?
They did. Tommy Wiseau ended up. He ended up doing like a bunch of shorts for Adult Swim where he would come in like in between shows and just say like something completely off the wall, and it was great. But that was fueled by the popularity of The Room.
With them playing, it was that April Fool's prank.
Oh, they did it on Adult Swim.
Yeah, they played
twice. I think
that was like the only time that they shown something that wasn't a cartoon.
Yeah, so they for an April Fool's one night, they played The Room on loop through the entirety of Adult Swim. Through its like entire, like it's when it went from like 10 p.m. to like 5 a.m. kind of thing. So they did this, and this was the thing where like I got off of work at 10 o'clock when I was in high school, went home and I watched Adult Swim, and I got off work like, why is fucking Adult Swim showing this? It was during the sex scene when I turned it on. This censored softcore porno. You know what? Fuck, I'm gonna watch it. I'm a high schooler, and I watched it intently for like 3 hours straight. Like I went through and watched like 45 minutes in, watched it again, watched some more, fell asleep. And I couldn't remember what it was. It was a fever dream. I couldn't find it because we didn't have rectangles like this.
Right.
It was wild.
Well, you're talking about back in the dark ages.
Yeah.
Do you all remember when they Adult Swim did the April Fool's gag with the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie? So
Yes.
they showed it like in the bottom
tiny.
corner. It's so small. They apparently did actually show the movie. Had no audio, and it was like
They
maybe
did.
100th of the size of the screen. It was they advertised all night. We're showing the movie, and it's just this tiny little speck in the corner of the TV. Adult Swim was fantastic at April Fools. They did it right.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing I'll admit about Adult Swim. That was Adult Swim was popular with Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, and everything on there. What's the cartoon that they had about the heavy metal band that
Metalocalypse, created by
Metalocalypse.
John Schnepp in part.
Yeah, I know John Schnepp had a hand on that. All of that was extremely popular. Back when I wasn't partaking of certain chemicals to potentially alter mind states or something. Mainly because I live in Texas and it's never going to get legalized here.
Yeah, you're talking
Ever.
about lysergic acid diethylamide, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
But
That one.
like it was before nice. It was before I could properly understand and enjoy Adult Swim. I don't know if I would understand it even better now. I for some reason I'm not the type of person that likes like cartoons made for stoners.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's pretty much, for the most part, that's what most of it was. But like Adult Swim was also like largely responsible for Family Guy getting picked back up because they picked it up after it got canceled, and it was like I think it was close to 2 years before Fox put it back on.
Yeah.
They did it for Family Guy and American
And-
Dad.
Yeah,
And
they do it.
Futurama.
Then they then they do it for Futurama also. In fact,
Yeah.
Futurama's coming back again.
Again, isn't that wild? It is. It's going to Hulu.
That's insane.
Like Futurama, this is the third
Time
revision
it
of it, I
started.
think?
Yeah.
No,
And I
think
wasn't
it's
even a
four.
big
That's
Futurama
four.
fan.
They had the break when they made the movies, and then they had the break when they got canceled after they did the movies and got picked up. This is the fourth iteration of Futurama.
Yeah.
Right. It's wild. That show, like, and when did it air originally? Maybe 4 seasons? I don't remember exactly, but I think give or take 4 seasons.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
how that show wound up with the legs it did, because none of I didn't particularly care for any of the revival. I love the first 2 seasons, honestly, but the revivals didn't really do anything for me, but it keeps coming back.
I didn't like.
Well,
I never got into Futurama, but I had a girlfriend at a time that she loved it, and so she made me watch it all. Mainly, the only one I remember is this one where like they visit like an Amazonian planet, and the Amazon women are trying to give them
Death
death
by
by
Snoo
Snoo. And I was like, all right, this is funny.
Okay,
So
so are you a
Snoo
big
Snoo,
Star
of course,
Trek
being
fan?
sex. So death by Snoo Snoo.
Death by Snoo.
Okay, so are you a Star Trek fan at all, Robert? Or
So my parents were Star Trek fans. As a kid,
That's that one, right?
yeah, exactly.
That's that one.
As a kid, our Saturday nights used to be, of course, I'm a kid. I'm not going out doing anything, so we would eat dinner while
you're doing
watching
Blackjack and Hookers?
The Next Generation.
Mm.
So the Next Generation was really the only ones that I was familiar with.
Right.
And really interested in at the time. Like the movie Star Trek Generations, where it goes from like Kirk to Picard. I love that movie. That movie, like, I know it's not the best Star Trek movie. I have
It's
gone
right
back,
for our generation, though.
but I liked it. It was so good,
Mhm.
especially because of giving like Data the chip, so he
Yeah.
feels emotions and he learns humor and stuff like that. Like, I love that. So yeah, that's that. I like the first 2 of the Kelvin movies,
Mhm.
2009 and Into Darkness. I like those. I like
fun.
some of the Next Generation movies. Nemesis and Insurrection or Resurrection?
Insurrection, yeah.
Insurrection. Alien was Resurrection. Star Trek was Insurrection. Okay. That's not confusing at all.
Is Insurrection Juice, you'll know the movie release date. Is it 98?
No. 1 year before, I believe. No? Yeah.
Damn.
I think.
No,
I'm not for sure.
So Star Trek Generations, I believe, was.
Oh, you are right. It is
94.
98. No, it's 98, 96. First Contact's 96.
It was
For
94.
some reason, I thought it was odds.
And then
Generations 94.
First Contact, I think, was like 96.
First Contact was 96. Yeah.
And then Insurrection was 98. Nemesis was 2000.
Might have been 2002.
So I asked if you're into Trek though, because there's a podcast that's called Star Trek, The Last Futurama. That's basically just here's how Futurama relates back to Star Trek and how they're written so closely together, and how Futurama is kind of like a Star Trek show, but smarter and super dumb. It's a really great listen.
Jeremy Miller's saying still waiting on that Tarantino movie. That will never happen.
And there's no they've rumored that for
would be awesome.
a hell of a long time. But I just if he is sincere about only doing one more movie, it's not going to be that.
It's not going to be Star Trek.
Yeah,
mainly. But besides like the Tarantino-isms of it, the number one reason why it won't get made is never has Star Trek had any kind of focus on feet.
Number one being like,
he would
does Jean-Luc Picard look like a bitch to you?
He would, knowing Tarantino, he would bring it to like they go to a planet where like everyone's like limbs or feet, like it's
everyone's head is a foot,
foot with eyes. That would be a great Rick and Morty.
That's so weird.
But, fuck. Sorry, we got a Streamlabs donation, and it's somebody who knows just how to hit my heart. It's somebody who usually does Fast and the Furious donations, but it's a Xenoblade Chronicles donation. The Monado. I hope I can figure out the secret of his power one day. Shulk. From John Lestrina.
Homie.
Right on.
Yes.
So I have a post Streamlab movie question this time. What do you think about the Kingsman movies? So I am the first one is one of my top 10 favorite of all time. So I'm doing a rewatch of
top 10 favorite movies ever.
Yeah, the first Kingsman is in my top 10 favorite movies ever. And so I'm doing a rewatch. So I hadn't seen The Golden Circle since theaters, so I rewatched that, and I had not yet seen The King's Man. Yeah. So I'm halfway through that. The
King's Man is wild. I love that movie because it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's awesome.
The King's Man is okay, but it's so like separated from the first two movies. Like the first two movies have like that. There's a lot of comedic action to it. Set pieces, like in the first one, the set piece of him in the church. Just obliterating people to Freebird. That was amazing.
Fantastic.
I love how that is all like a one take shot. That is easily probably one of my favorite one take shots of all time. That and probably the entire 1917 movie.
Well, that is.
But they're equal. They're the same.
Okay, sort of, yeah. One's a little bit more fun than the other.
Well, that's true.
But the King's Man is so. I feel like completely disconnected on it compared to the first two movies, and probably mainly because we don't get the same characters. It would have been better if we still had like Eggsy and Merlin.
For me, I feel like it struggles with the tone because there was a wackiness that the first two had. I think the second one goes too wacky, and I'm not as I still very much enjoy the second one just with how much I love the first one. I do like seeing the characters, but it's not like this was the first time I saw it since theaters. So obviously, 5 years I wasn't itching to see it again. But it's like yeah, I don't know. It's like it's tonally it feels off, but maybe that's just because it's so different. So I don't know. I like the wacky characters in it, the villains, but I haven't finished it yet. So maybe
I
relate
Reese Ifans is really good in it.
He's
he's
such an underrated actor, just in general. Him in The Replacements.
Yes. I was about to say that. Nigel Gruff in The Replacements. His character is so good.
So good.
But there's the thing with the King's Man as a replacement where I relate this back to the Star Wars prequels.
Pun intended.
Where this is a prequel. Is that it's like where the Star Wars prequel was, we're going to make this more so you can tell it's for kids. Like the King's Man is like, we're going to adult the fuck out of this. And we're just going to throw it all out there for you. Like that's what I got out of it. Also, Kingsman Golden Circle sucks, except for the fact that it does the best movie cameo of all time with Elton John, because he shows up for a cameo and he just stays in the movie for 30 minutes.
That is the best movie cameo.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's like actually like fighting in there too.
Yeah, he saves their life. Yeah, because the dogs have him set on like this is a friend. So when they're about to go and kill Eggsy or whatever, he jumps in front and they're like, "Oh, friend," and stop.
Isn't that like that whole sequence too when they're attacking the compound and he's there like fighting? Isn't the whole thing set to Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Like it's so good. Like it just like that.
Yeah.
It writes itself, and
it's Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah.
Was one of the jokes. It's like, isn't it Wednesday?
The main thing, I can't remember her name right now, and I love her.
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Yeah.
The main crime of the movie is wasting Julianne Moore because like they tried to do a thing like they did with Sam Jackson the first one, but they didn't give her enough to do. Ooh, you're a pot farmer. Ooh, like it's that's the one crime in the second movie that makes the entire thing not work. But I love the Kingsman.
I do have a question. We brought up Elton John. Have I ever told the story of when I saw Elton John live? Because this is pretty fucking funny. So Elton John and Billy Joel have done the face-to-face concerts for a long time together. And I went to the one, I think it was in 2011 at Nationals Park in D.C. They're in their second song together. They were supposed to go like back and forth doing songs together. And then Elton was going to play a set. Then Billy was going to play a set. Then they were going to end together again. They get to the second song, and all of a sudden Elton just stops playing and sits like this. Apparently his sustain pedal on his piano stuck, and he just like refused to start playing again. And he's sitting there like this, just angry, and he's like throwing a temper tantrum, yelling at the roadies. Billy Joel is just sitting there on stage. He's just messing around. He's playing things like the Yankee Doodle Dandy and stuff just to kind of kill time and stuff like that. He's just So then Billy, after probably about, I'll say give or take like 4 or 5 minutes of them trying to fix Elton's piano, Billy's like, you know what? I got this. Billy Joel gets up. He takes off his sports coat, throws it to the ground like this, and dives under Elton's piano to see if he can fix it himself. And keep in mind, this is like 10 years ago. Billy Joel is in his 60s at this point. And he gets up from it. Again, it's supposed to go together, Elton, Billy together. So Billy Joel's like, you know what? Fuck it. Get my band up here. We'll play right now. And his band just is in a full-blown panic. They're not supposed to go on stage for like 90 minutes. And they all come like shuffling out. And
everybody is just finishing their smoke break.
Yeah. They're like, ah.
Fuck. They all ran out. So Elton did like profusely apologize to the crowd, but there is a picture that was in the Washington Post the next day of Elton just sitting like this with Billy Joel underneath the piano trying to fix it.
Well, here's the takeaway from that. I mean, if you can't get the roadies to fix it, the next best person to fix your piano would be the piano man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Piano Man is fucking bullshit, by the way. Have you ever listened to that song? Have you ever performed at an open mic? Anybody here?
I've had I have played it. I have had people play it at the bar I work at right at 9:00 on a Saturday. Also.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I've been to hundreds of open mics, with a bunch of alcoholics, and not one time have I run into a microphone that smells like a beer.
That's true.
Billy Joel is full of shit. You can tell him I said it.
It's great.
That is. But the man, like, after seeing those two, like, Elton actually was pretty good live. Elton, I don't know Elton's guitar player's name. Elton's guitar player is a fucking beast. He's a fantastic musician. But Billy Joel is one of the most fun live performances you'll ever see. Anybody in this chat, you ever get the chance to see Billy Joel, 100% recommended. You will leave with a gigantic smile on your face.
Get some free tickets from Ticketmaster in your email.
I don't know what happened.
Tell that story. I'm going to be back in like 2 minutes.
So literally this year, for those who don't know, I'm from Long Island, New York. So Billy Joel is just like in my blood. And this year I've gone every single year since I lived in Florida because he plays once a year. He alternates years. He goes Orlando 1 year, Tampa 1 year. And I'm in Orlando, but Tampa's only a little over an hour away. So I've gone every single year. And this year my wife and I were like, we're not going to go. He's playing the stadium outdoors. It's going to be miserable. The tickets are super expensive. And about a week and a half before the show, I get an email from Ticketmaster out of the blue with no warning whatsoever. And it says, your tickets are here. I'm like, what is going on? And it was complimentary tickets to the Billy Joel show. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Why did I get these tickets for free? But we saw him on the one day in Orlando where the temperature dropped to 35 degrees and it was outdoors. So that was pretty fun. That was an experience.
Here's some free tickets to come freeze your ass off while listening to the Piano Man.
Enjoy your $13 beers and freeze your ass
no
off.
heater at all whatsoever in Florida.
In Florida, it was bizarre. Wait, Lego.
There you go.
we need to talk, Lego. We seriously need to talk about this. Do a little research, Lego. That's your homework for the week. I hate giving you homework, but I'm giving you homework. Do a little research.
Lego, I'm willing to bet you know of Billy Joel's songs. You just don't know that it's Billy Joel who we're talking about. But yeah, he definitely has done songs that it's not possible to be a living, breathing person and not know of these songs.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you ever watch The Office, he is prominently featured in several episodes of The Office. So if you were a fan of that show, you definitely have at least heard him.
Now, we didn't start the fire, but you know who played Firefly in Batgirl? Brendan Fraser.
Here we go.
Wow, that was a segue if I ever saw one. Jeez.
No, here's the thing.
AJ, I'm going to need you to pop over onto our
back.
show and help us with our segues every once in a while. Good Lord.
He is the king of the segue, if you weren't aware of.
Here's
that was a better segue than Paul Blart Mall Cop rides.
I just did a yes and like a terrible segue. I need somebody to double back out and segue me out of this thing before I just like.
No, I want to hear this. I've been waiting all day for this.
Okay. So, we here at What the Show, your trusted news source. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
On a Wednesday night, this is your trusted movie news source.
The most reliable movie news source.
Most reliable.
For those not in the know, so there's been this whole fiasco with Warner Brothers this week. Warner Brothers, with their new head from Discovery, David Zaslav, has kind of taken his cuts to things across the industry with various shows and really kind of trimmed the fat when he became the head of Warner Brothers when he acquired it. Now, this came to a head this week when the entire $70 million budgeted Batgirl movie was cut.
Wait, they canceled the Batgirl movie?
Yeah, not the Joss Whedon one. That was earlier.
But the one that was in development right now with Michael Keaton.
The one that they shot the whole thing. They shot the whole damn thing.
That was canceled? How did I not hear about this? Of course, I've heard about this.
I'm like, have you opened Twitter from anybody?
No.
We all
Now, Robert, do you
You're like,
remember?
we sent you the link to the show on Twitter by you being in this StreamYard right now, you've been on Twitter. You should have seen something in passing on your way here.
Robert, do you remember the ugly Sonic trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's my thoughts on it. Remember when that ugly Sonic trailer came out, and fans petitioned to say you can make Sonic look more like the video games and still make a good movie out of it, and then Sonic changed that Sonic and like made him look like the cute Sonic we got in the movies. You remember that, right? No, everybody was super happy about it. Did you hear the Hollywood rumor that they released the ugly Sonic trailer on purpose so people would do that campaign?
It's a bold strategy.
I mean, yeah,
Do
but it worked for him, Cotton.
Yeah. Do you know where that rumor got popular?
On Twitter?
No, that rumor got popular when Kevin Smith said on his own podcast that he spoke to a DC representative Sony representative who told them that that's what they did.
All right. Well, if we're gonna bring him up, I'm gonna add another Funko Pop to this. There we go.
Yeah, is it
I don't know
Michael
too.
Sonic?
It's the Kevin Smith Funko Pop.
Nice. Okay, so that's where that rumor got traction. That conspiracy theory got traction. So put on your tinfoil hat with me. Do you have any tinfoil in your house?
I just bought some today, actually, right before this show. But
I mean, if you really want to do
Yeah,
it literally, that's
I
great.
don't
If
really
not,
want to do it.
Just come on for the ride. So they say we're going to shelve this Batgirl movie because it's not good enough. Okay, well, you still have the whole thing made, and you can still make it come back anytime you want to. So they say this, and then they do a bunch of things that, like, everybody knows the Batgirl is canceled. Like, you know that, I know that, my mom knows it, whatever. But what my mom doesn't know is that, like, American Pickle isn't on HBO Max anymore. They're taking anything that is actually tax beneficial to take off of HBO Max, and they're going to cut all out. And after they do that, that's when they say, guys, we listened to you, and here's the trailer for Batgirl coming to HBO Max. While we didn't originally believe in this, we do believe it's right because of your outcry to release it to the public.
So
I had this whole time to watch American Pickle, and I didn't. It's gone now. Gosh dang.
It's a great
American
movie.
Pickle was really good, though. We wanted to, like, the second it came out.
Good. It's probably the
I
best
wanted to.
acting that Seth Rogen's ever done on screen.
All right. Anyways.
Step Brothers.
So, my thought is that this is exactly like Space Jam 2.
Here we go.
The Warner
always.
Brothers Corporation is entirely evil. They will manipulate your content that you love.
Did y'all use that GIF like before I'm on this show? Or?
No, we put it
That
out
was a tonight. We always do one that we feature throughout a show, and then we like.
Robert,
play it
have you
very
seen
rarely.
Space Jam 2?
Yes, I have. Sadly.
How many times have you seen it?
Once.
I've seen it 8 times. So here's what that movie's about. It's about the evil of the Warner Brothers Corporation, how they will take content that they know that we love, and they will manipulate and do what with it they want. It's basically just kind of like a fuck you. We will put a Looney Tune in a Mad Max if we think it's going to make us more money. And that's this situation. Now, that's not dealing with anything with, say, the fact that I think Alan Horn was the person who said, this is kind of a strategy that you can take to kind of manipulate the masses while you cut the fat out of the taxes of the situation that you have with the Warner Brothers Film Corporation and your streaming service, and the fact that every Warner Brothers movie is on there. So they're going to take a bunch of Warner Brothers movies off, write that off on their taxes, sell them off to other streaming services, Netflix, and then they're going to give us Batgirl.
Wasn't Space Jam the Space Jam 2? Wasn't this the movie that there was the whole controversy that they removed Pepe Le Pew because he would like force himself on?
Because he was
like,
a straight up rapist, but they also had the guys from Clockwork
they had
Orange.
Clockwork Orange, the Droogs still in the background. Like, have y'all not watched Clockwork Orange? It's a great movie, but I mean, these guys are straight up like rapists and murderers. Like,
Yep.
God.
But tell me that my theory doesn't make sense.
You know what? Here's the thing. If this actually comes true and they do end up releasing Batgirl still, this is going to be the most popular stream on all of YouTube. And I'm glad that I chose tonight to be a guest host on this. Make sure y'all follow the Cinefanatics.
Exactly.
I'm going to get these plugs in right now.
Well, from Sonic to this, and it's kind of the same situation. Oh, everybody hates it. And we're gonna give you it because you're gonna love it now. Like that's my thought. It's my thought. I don't know.
I'm willing to bet we're probably going to hear news again. Today's Wednesday night. There is a giant investor meeting with WB Discovery tomorrow. I would not. I will not be surprised to hear that they've also canceled the Flash movie.
That makes
Lego.
For
We
two
need to
reasons.
pause the stream and we're just going to address this. The Droogs from Clockwork
Yes.
Orange are indeed
100%.
like
They were definitely
non-hallucinating.
in there.
I've done a lot of hallucinogens. They are corporeally in
Wait, I haven't.
Space Jam 2.
I kind of didn't. I haven't seen Space Jam 2. I do have a Space Jam 2 like strap backpack, but
So
I haven't seen
For
it.
Chris, it's not that Batgirl could be sold. It's that they're going to say, "Oh, we changed our mind. We're going to release Batgirl," and then American Pickle is sold to fucking Peacock for $5 million. That's what I'm hedging my bets on.
So I'm willing to bet, like I said, Flash is going to get canceled for two reasons. One, obviously, the Ezra Miller.
What happened with them?
Let's just avoid this altogether. Just scrap this movie, and then we no longer have to worry about this at all. That's one reason. The second reason is we are so close to WB actually getting their own Kevin Feige to run a whole new DCCU, a whole new DC shared universe that they are going to scrap that Flash movie. Because here's the thing: if they release that Flash movie, it's set to release next summer.
Now it was
Right now,
this year
yeah.
got pushed, right? Yeah.
So here's the: if they release that Flash movie and then they end up making an entire whole new DC shared universe, that means that they're not going to release another Flash movie for 5 to 10 years at least, and they don't want to do that. Flash is a major character. They're going to want to do like Marvel did. They're going to make movies of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and probably Green Lantern before they culminate in an actual good Justice League movie. They want to make a decent Flash movie right away, not wait another 10 years because they released this crappy one in a failed universe.
Well, what if
So
that
yeah,
movie
I
is
believe
really
that they'll
good?
cancel it for that reason.
Now, if that movie is really good, here's what I'm proposing. And this is a thing that I think should be an industry standard. You do replace Ezra Miller with Tig Notaro. Amber Heard and Aquaman. Amber Heard and Aquaman 2.
Replace with Tig Notaro.
her. Yeah, it should be a thing. It should be
The
a thing
Tig
that
Notaro
if you
extended
know-
universe.
if you know that you fucked up, you're about to get tigged. Like that should be an interesting term. I fucked up. I'm gonna get tigged.
I like the idea because obviously this is a joke coming off of was it Army of the Dead where they replaced Chris Diella was replaced by Tig Notaro. Yeah, and it was done flawlessly. And there's not a single shot of that movie I feel like you could actually like tell that Tig Notaro is not actually physically there. She looks like she's there in every single shot she's in.
To be fair, Zack Snyder shot that entire movie out of focus. But you're right.
And that's an Academy Award winning movie, technically.
Peggy says, not enthralled by the topic. Y'all got 5 minutes to captivate me. Go.
Oh, okay. So, Peggy, so
switch topics. Let's go.
All right, another. We need a Streamlabs for a random.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. We have not brought up Roadhouse.
We need
McGregor.
the chaotic fucking ambulance energy from Jake Gyllenhaal in Roadhouse. Otherwise, I don't know if you can actually allow Conor McGregor.
I think he might actually be able to pull it off.
Who's directing this movie?
Bong Joon-ho.
Yep.
For real?
No.
Wait,
it's
no.
from
No.
what?
There's
That would be fantastic.
How do you follow up Parasite? Let's do a remake of Roadhouse. It's that movie that Ron White says is just about bouncers, and it's a movie that bouncers watch and beat off.
Ripping throats.
if Bong Joon-ho directs this movie,
Doug Liman.
$1,000. You know who else deserves $1,000? The Improvineers.
Doug Liman will direct.
Wait, Doug Liman?
That's
true.
A script from the Nice Guys writers, Anthony, names I can't pronounce, but it'll be interesting. I just rewatched Edge of Tomorrow in my rewatch series before with Kingsman, but
yeah, this could be really
interesting. He's been pretty hit or miss lately, right? So
I still want to see that. I still want to see that sequel to Edge of Tomorrow, though.
It's getting a fucking sequel.
Yeah.
The Live, Die, Repeat, and repeat it again.
Edge of Tomorrow is getting a fucking sequel.
Well, that was talked about like years ago.
Yeah,
I don't
think it ever went through though.
You remember the Mark Riley? Oh wait, are you doing the Mark Riley?
I'm doing a bit. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. That's been too long since I've had that like in my mind. You'd have yelled it. Edge of Tomorrow is getting a sequel.
But I think this could be good. The thing that Conor McGregor is attached to act in this movie.
Yeah, I mentioned this to a lot of people in this chat probably saw this, but like if he gets like his throat ripped or something like that, I will watch that clip repeatedly just because it's Conor McGregor getting killed or something like that. But like, yeah, that is terrible casting. Just absolutely terrible casting.
So I had 24 hours. I had
Roadhouse.
almost 24 hours of good news with this movie because it was we're gonna have Jake Gyllenhaal in a Roadhouse reboot. He's going to be the star of the movie, so that's cool. That could be fun. We're gonna get that chaotic ambulance energy, maybe. But almost 24 hours later, I get reminded of the original, the most recent Roadhouse remake announcement before this. Before this, it was supposed to be a Ronda Rousey remake.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Like Ronda Rousey was supposed to be the lead
in Roadhouse. Yeah,
Dalton.
That's valid.
So here's in theory that works. What doesn't work is the fact that she's not that good of an actress. She's amazing at what she does, but she's not good at acting.
What does she do? She gets kicked in the head.
Hilariously bad in Entourage, the movie. Like she was so bad in that movie.
Was it Fast and the Furious 7 that she was in?
Yeah.
Oh God! Like she didn't have that many lines. Thank God.
Ronda Rousey, you have more talents than I do. I've never been in motion pictures. I'm not judging you and saying that you're a bad person. I'm just saying read the room. But same thing for Conor McGregor, except for Conor McGregor is actually a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the greatest promo ever after a UFC fight, which made me laugh my ass off when he said he was going to apologize to absolutely nobody. But aside from that, he's trash.
Yeah. And they were continued to not do the thing.
I just noticed that Mike's got the poster behind him of the Porgs doing the "See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil."
So
awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring this up with Doug Lyman because I was asking if it was if his movies have been hit or miss lately. I saw Chaos Walking, and or I saw that he had done that movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was like one of the ones I wanted to check out. I forgot I watched that movie. That's how unforgettable that movie is. And then I'm like, wait, which one was that about? I'm like, oh, I watched that. Like, and this was like 6 months ago.
By the way, I feel like as long as I have this beard with the gray spots in it too, we need to upload the GIF of fucking Jack Nicholson with his departed beard nodding.
How did we not put that up ever before? That is a weird one for us not to have used.
Just needs to be a thing, though, right?
My favorite that we use a lot is the clip from the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer where he's like that he never did in the actual movie.
Right.
Yeah,
I love that clip. I use that. We use it all the time.
This is our favorite one.
Get the salt. Lick the salt. Lick the salt.
Is he like throwing cocaine out, or
he's
catch
like,
it?
It's salt. It's salt. Lick the salt. Do it. Maxwell did it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Is this the gift you're talking about? Still
Burns my eyes. Y'all threw salt in my...
It's not, but that's
No, it's not. There's one of him nodding like
Wasn't
this.
that him like
His
about to
beard is
turn
full
into
like
the
this.
wolf and Wolf?
that. I think you're right, Rob.
I like that.
I like that.
Okay.
Oh, I see which one you're talking about.
I think we should close this out pretty soon, but I think we need to close out with the Garth Brooks clip.
Robert, have you ever seen this? You are in for a fucking treat.
I don't know.
Okay, so Garth Brooks.
I was in the military, stationed in a town that was right next door to the town that Garth Brooks was born and grew up in. So,
Oh, that's lovely. But Garth Brooks
That's
did
it.
this thing that is also one of our most. It's a 46-second clip. We've shared it many times, and after you see this, I guarantee you that you're going to quote it
At least once.
at least 3 times in the next week.
oh no.
Garth Brooks joins Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I don't pick up on social cues and
Well, this is not like a well, I get where he's come from. This one, like we never heard of this, and AJ found this, and now it's like in our lexicon. So
okay, we're not going to end on this. We might go for another like 5 minutes afterwards, but we're gonna show it real quick.
let's at least
So
get
you can
Robert's
see
reaction
this.
because it's worth the reaction video.
Okay, right, go. Also, I have the ability to sound bites, and 40-second clip is going to be a full soundbite on next week's show.
Well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook. I really wasn't sure about this at the start. But then a friend of mine said something that just made all kinds of sense. She said, think of it more as a conversation. I like
I
that.
like that.
What I'm already finding out on my own is that it's wiping the walls out between you and me. And I really like that. It allows us into each other's worlds, or I guess in my case, hotel room. When I think about things I want to post cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff. But most of the stuff I'm going to post is going to be raw stuff like this. It's just who I am. So if this is truly a conversation, then I say let the conversation begin.
That's awesome.
all right, Chris Gaines, calm down.
Yeah.
So
That's got
same
to
with Garth
be
Brooks.
older than it's got to be older than 7 years, right?
It's when he first
What
joined
is that mean?
Facebook.
If he joined,
Well, I guess I was
well,
wrong.
maybe it is.
I just don't belong.
so AJ spectacularly trolled a it was a
It was a
scammer
sex
on
bot.
yeah, it was a sex bot.
By only using lines from this while the sex bot was interacting with me. Just,
I like this.
well, I guess official.
That was probably
I like
used a
that.
lot.
But
I like that.
It's wiping down the walls between me and you.
So he definitely has, like, Garth Brooks has, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs ever done, and that was not "Friends in Low Places." It was "The Dance." "The Dance" is like one of my favorite like country songs of all time.
Bruh.
So,
yes.
yeah.
Uh,
"Friends in Low Places" is my favorite. I've had a lot of beer songs that I've ever heard in my
A
whole
lot
life.
of people's favorite. I've had a lot
Yeah.
of your songs.
and
Garth Brooks, not Garth McMurray, but you can stay Garth.
Thunder Rolls is a great one when you're just at home and like
Beer Run.
infidelity is happening. What?
It's just a BEERUN.
Beer Run.
I love Beer Run. But
My okay, so an in-law technically okay. So my brother's wife, her mom thought it was horses whiskey for my men before my horses. So that's a thing. That's a thing that happens when you're from Nebraska.
I like that.
Whiskey for my men, beer for my horses.
No, before my horses. Whiskey for my men before my horses. That's how that song was originally interpreted by somebody who lives on God's green earth.
I mean,
At
I'm
this
not
moment.
giving whiskey to horses at all. That's a waste of some good whiskey right there.
Or beer.
you.
I mean, I'll throw beer at a horse before I throw whiskey at a horse.
Bud Light, give him a Bud Light.
Wait, you would throw a beer? Okay.
Not
Guys,
literally throwing a beer at them.
I have a stream deck now, and I would throw a beer at a horse is going to be like, we got that.
I'll throw a beer at a horse.
We got that cleaned twice. Thank you, Robert.
I'll tell you what. I'll throw a beer at a horse before I throw a beer at a person.
Thank
Unless-
you.
I don't know if that's a good quote either.
It's gonna get used.
I mean,
Not gonna throw a beer. Now, what's gonna happen is you're gonna clip that out. You're gonna keep doing these shows, and of course, I'm gonna go back to my regularly scheduled Wednesday night show that I do over on my channel. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're gonna get people that are just randomly popping up and trolling us, going, "You throw beer at a horse, you monster!"
no,
What the
here's
fuck
what's
did
going
this
to
come
happen.
from? Oh, that's right.
Is
I did. Say
one
that,
of us
didn't
going to dip out one at a time to just like, if you'll have us on tagline? Like,
I?
it's just
Bring the clip
we'll
with you.
randomly show up. Like, one of us will not appear on WTS. Like,
Chris. Y'all know that feeling when you throw a beer right at a horse? Well, that's what it's like to drive a Ford F-150.
fuck. With the voice, it's so real.
Ford.
Oh my God.
What's
I think
your slogan now? Like a rock.
I think we.
Is it
we
still
got
like a rock?
Built for snuffed.
Built Ford tough, which means it's gonna fall apart.
Built Ford snuffed. Snuffed built.
Found on road dead.
Fuck.
I'm not even a truck guru, and I'm still making the Ford jokes. Fix or repair daily. Yeah. I say that while my car is actually in the shop right now.
I started like I went to a country school and like by the time I graduated, it was about 2000. It's like, oh fuck, Toyota got the fucking cornerstone on the market. These fucking truck dudes, it's bullshit.
I am like the literal least like country person, but I have a truck somehow. I don't know how. I don't even remember what kind of truck it is. It's a Ford Ranger. I just remember.
Wait, you drive a Ford Ranger?
I have a 98 Ford Ranger. It's purple. And it has like
That is the
the
most juice thing I've ever heard.
it has like the 90s
Justin.
swizzle, like the 90s like aqua.
I need a music video
Justin.
of you like in the bed of that truck with the keytar just rocking out to something
If
while
the-
the
if the
camera
cat-
like whip pans
Garth
across.
Brooks. You need a Garth Brooks cover out of the
Let
bed
me-
of that truck.
Yeah. We need
let
that
me-
video.
Wait, you
Let
got
me
the
pull up a
swizzle?
picture of a '98 Ford Ranger with the purple
If
swivel.
it's got the swizzle, you gotta do thunder rolls.
What Justin, where are you at?
Wisconsin.
Damn it. I was gonna say if you were like somewhere like in the local Texas area to me, I would grab a camera right now, drive over where you're at, and film that shit. I want
The local
the
Texas
guitar
area,
in the bed
that's-
of the truck
Could be
just
8 hours.
rocking out.
You're in the Austin area, correct?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
I'm
not seeing any Google image
Austin is
pictures.
far. So I drove
With
one
the
year.
swizzle.
I had my girlfriend had a friend has a friend in Madison, Wisconsin. So we drove from Austin all the way up to Madison. Oh my god, that was not a fun drive.
That's a hike.
That was an 18-hour drive. So we stopped in Springfield, Missouri, about halfway. So I would drive straight 9 hours up to Springfield, and then the next day 9 hours up to Madison.
Yikes.
And then of course I get up to Madison and I'm like, man, it's fucking cold up here. I'm from Texas. But the guest room was like a basement, which I've never heard of these basements before because we don't have basements in Texas. So
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are like lifelong Texans, right?
damn near, yeah. So I'm 40. I've been here ever since I was about 4.
You're a man. You're 40.
It's not what I meant by accentuating that, but thank you for confirming that, AJ.
Sorry, I don't have the ability. I don't pull up the. I'm a man. I'm 40. But sorry.
William Harold says 18-hour drive, 13 of them in Texas. That would be true when we go to LA. Whenever if we've driven to LA, most of that drive, at least about a good half of that drive is still in Texas. Going up north, it's been. So Chris is the only one in my family who was born and raised in Texas. I was not born here, but got here as fast as I could, as the saying in Texas goes.
It's still so weird that he's 32 now.
Mm-hmm.
He's like months older than me.
Yeah.
I think he's 24.
I like when he still gets carded for alcohol.
When did he start
Mike,
taking?
oh man, Mike and I every time.
He still gets carded.
That whole day when it was just to him and I, every place we went, it was, oh, can I see your ID? Can I see your ID? And I'm just like waiting, knowing like that they're gonna see like a 1980 date or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, and I show up and like, well, they must be adults. Fuck you.
Haven't been carded in a
You're
couple
gonna-
of years.
You'll grow to love it. Like literally, I'm turning 40 in 3 months, and I love when I get carded now. So
Yeah, because
Oh,
now you're
yeah.
looking at it like,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on, card me. I dare you to card
yeah.
me. Please tell me I look 21 again.
right.
Nebraska is
Tell me I
now,
look under 21.
Nebraska is now a mandatory card state for like not bars, but like if you're gonna go like stuff to a gas station or grocery store, like so it's like you gotta have it ready because if they can't scan an ID,
Right.
they can't.
The problem I have with that is I feel like that feeds into like the stupidity of people. Like obviously if the person is coming in trying to buy a bottle of wine, they've got gray hair, balding, and they're using a walker to help them get into that convenience store.
Don't
You
judge
don't need
me.
to card them. Like they're
Yeah, I
old,
don't
okay?
get-
They
yeah, I
they
don't
can
get it.
buy this. The funniest thing, I guess, real quick, I'll say when I was in the military, there was me and 2 other guys. We were all in the training class that we were in to learn how to do our job. We all 3 of us had the same exact birthday, day, year, everything exactly the same. And we were sitting in a training class one time, and we heard that there were 3 other guys that were like kind of sort of a part of our group, but they weren't in our class. Apparently, they all got in trouble because they went to town with fake IDs to go into a bar, and they got busted. The way they got busted is all 3 of the fake IDs had the same exact birthday on them.
Yep.
So we're sitting there like, this is stupid. Where are you going to find 3 guys with the same exact date of birth? This will never happen. Shit.
Bro, so
So funny.
I never met anybody with the same birthday as me until
I did.
one day in 2016. It was my 26th birthday. I was born in 90. I show up to a bar to do an open mic. It's November 2nd, 1990. There are 5 people in this bar that I've met through doing open mics in this bar that I don't really talk to who have the same fucking birthday as me at the same time. Yeah, this is the thing. And it's on it's 2016, November 2nd, the same day that the Cubs won the World Series.
The World Series. That's right.
Wish I could go back in time and put some money on the Cubbies.
Oh,
Yep.
In
It
2016.
was a year late too. If it was 1 year earlier, it would have been just kismet. But it was a year late.
That would have been like that would have made me a baseball fan right then and there if they would have gotten that time just right. I wonder if like the Cubs actually knew that. If they were like, okay, guys, we have
They had back
to do this.
They had a Back to the
That's
Future night that year. My
real.
best friend is a diehard Cubs fan. They 100% had Back to the Future night, and they almost made the World Series that year. They lost in the NLCS that year.
I was living in Chicago at that time. Yeah.
So I was going to say, Robert, I don't know if you know this, but I found out I do have somebody we all know who is my exact birthday buddy. I think I'm an hour older than one John Hoey.
Nice.
Yeah. Great dude, by the way. Fantastic dude.
All right. Kat does not want to sit here for too long, so.
But with that in mind, this has been a fun show. I've had a ton of fun tonight, but I think we're going to start wrapping things up. And I know Robert's got a couple of other obligations tonight. So, Robert, why don't you just tell us what's going on tonight, and then also tell us what you're normally doing.
Whew. Well, this is gonna be a long one. So here in a minute, you can find me. I'm gonna go over to a Fans View YouTube channel where we are doing a watch along. It's a Fans View of film favorites. We typically watch movies, comment, make jokes. It's just a good old fashioned watch along. We are breaking into the Harry Potter movies starting tonight, so we will be kicking it off with Harry Potter and the Philosopher or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on what nation you hail from. So we are starting that here in about 15 minutes or so. So if y'all want to go over there, watch us over there. We're going to continue the party rolling on that. Otherwise, I'm usually a part of the Cinefanatics and with my brother.
Hi, Chris. We love you, Chris. Come on, Chris. Come on.
So you can find us at youtube.com/Cinefanatics. Follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, his goofy face is usually over there also. Nice. Otherwise, you can follow me at Robert Adams MLP, as it says, like right there, on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd.
Fantastic.
I think that's everything I'm doing. We're taking a hiatus right now on Cinefanatics, so
Chris,
that's why
you have an open invite.
Yeah. And you guys always have an open invite. And I think that we're going to extend an open invite for ourselves over to your channel. Because you can't say no. Not live in front of people.
I will take down what y'all's movies preferences are, and we may be able to get y'all on potentially an episode of The Marquee, depending on what y'all are really familiar with and want to argue and talk about.
You can get AJ and I to argue the 3 Mortal Kombat movies.
Well, that's not going to be a very long Marquee episode.
No.
We can make it.
It will last
6 hours.
Probably around there.
Yeah, it will still be 3 hours long for some weird ass reason. Those of y'all know
it'll be longer than the entire MCU series.
Yeah, It's good lord. It's a tier ranking show. So if we do the Mortal Kombat movies, the rules on that one will be at least 3 movies have to go to F tier, and everything else can go wherever.
I will say if you were looking, like, I would love to do. Have you done Will Ferrell yet?
I've done what?
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
We haven't done any Will Ferrell movies now.
Hit me up if you're doing that.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
I'd have fun with that.
Chris, who would rank all the MCU? That would be insane. Yeah, it was.
You absolute maniacs.
But
We
here's the nice thing. Once
we
you
were
rank
going to do that, and
once you rank them all,
nope.
you don't have to do it again. So yay, it's over.
Listen, so you're over on a fan's view tonight, correct?
Yes.
So here's the thing. If you're watching the stream, there are 10 viewers watching this stream right now. YouTube doesn't have a raid function that we can technically use yet. We need 800 more subscribers. But
wait, doesn't it have a raid feature?
Yikes. But if you're able to go to a fan's view and check out their stream tonight, please do that. I want to see them with more than 10 live viewers. So we're at the show. We have Robert, who's running Cinefanatics with his brother. Robert and Chris Adams are 2 of our favorite people in the world. Isn't that right, co-host?
Absolutely.
100%.
And it's been a long time coming. And very happy you were on tonight, Robert.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before the show. Like most of the time when we've gotten to chat, it's just been at live events or
right.
Yeah.
Never like really online doing stuff like this. So
It's fun.
Yeah,
We'll definitely do some more. We'll do some more cross collaboration for certain. And Chris, I know you're in the chat right now. Chris, you have an open invite. So
And
also kind of curious, when do I get to claim that Scrubs trivia belt? Because I need it up here with
we're